trade just made no sense. It made no sense to them, and really there was no explanation for it either. You know, you go to the finals the year before, you give up all these assets to build really the team around Luka.
Leadership that we have is really elite, and you'll see next year when our team comes back, we're going to be competing for a championship.
Washington straight line drive.
And so the Pelicans. Black turns down the three. Oh! Klay Thompson lost it. So at this point, the mission is obvious.
That's when a franchise legend jumps on national TV and basically says your whole organization is running around like a circus. When someone like Dirk Nowitzki, a man who spent 21 straight years giving everything to Dallas, finally snaps and calls out the Mavericks front office. You know the situation is beyond repair. Dirk never talks crazy, never throws shade, never gets messy. So when he opened his mouth this time, people knew the truth had finally boiled over. What he said on Tuesday wasn't some light criticism. It sounded like he was giving a farewell speech to a front office that completely lost control of its own team. It felt like he was burying one of the wildest front office disasters the NBA has seen in years. So let's run it back. Not even a year ago, Dallas was in the NBA Finals. Luka Doncic had the Mavericks rolling, and the front office actually built something that made sense around him. They had athletic wings, real defense, big bodies that could finish lobs with Gafford and Lively, and then they grabbed Klay Thompson to fix the shooting problems the Boston series exposed. Everything was lining up. They came into the season blazing, winning 14 of their last 17 games heading into Christmas. They weren't just good, they looked like a squad that finally found their chemistry at the perfect time, and then everything fell apart. Luka got hurt, and that injury had ended up being the last time he ever played in a Mavericks jersey, because Nico Harrison, the general manager, made the shocking choice to blow up everything and ship Luka to the Lakers. Just think about that.
You know, when you take a look at this trade, who won on this side? Is it the Dallas Mavericks or is it the Lakers?
It's the Dallas Mavericks.
Breaking news out of the NBA, the Mavericks are expected to fire general manager Nico Harrison at 10 a.m. Central Time.
I feel like they got robbed of actually seeing the end, seeing this through, seeing Luka develop, into hopefully a champion one day, and it feels like they never got to see the end to this. So this was very heartbreaking. And but now it's I think it's time to move on.
Your superstar leads you to the finals. Your roster finally fits together. You finally have momentum. And the front office decides to flip the entire thing upside down by trading him. And what did they trade him for? Anthony Davis, a superstar talent, sure, but someone who has struggled to stay healthy for years. Everybody knows his body breaks down a lot. Everybody except the guy who made the trade, apparently. Here's the trade. Lakers got Luka Doncic, Maxi Kleber, and Markieff Morris. Dallas got Anthony Davis, Max Christie, and a 2029 first-round pick. On paper, some people tried to convince themselves it might work if Davis stayed healthy. But that "if" has been the same warning sign for half a decade. And of course, what happened next? Exactly what everyone expected. Davis arrived in Dallas and instantly started dealing with injury problems. Out of a possible 42 games in half a season, he suited up for only 14. And it gets even worse. He didn't even finish all of those games. He left too early, meaning Dallas got just 12 full games out of him. 12! And he still hasn't played 5 straight games for the Mavericks. Not once. Meanwhile, Kyrie Irving hasn't played a single game this season. Klay Thompson looks nothing like the player he used to be. And the team that was supposed to chase a championship is out here fighting just to reach the playoffs. This is where Dirk stepped in. When Nico Harrison was fired on Tuesday, Dirk went on TV and let everything out. He said the move should have happened in the summer, not in the middle of the season when everything is already falling apart. Months ago, Dirk hinted that the team had too many distractions, that there was a heavy cloud around the team before the season even started. But the hardest hit came when he said the Luka trade made no sense, and nobody ever gave a real explanation for why it happened. Dirk didn't just criticize the front office. He exposed the way decisions were made. This is a guy who gave Dallas 2 decades of loyalty, leadership, and championship pride, and even he couldn't defend the chaos happening inside the building. After the finals loss, the fans were locked in, the whole city was locked in, and it felt like Dallas finally had something real cooking. Until everything collapsed out of nowhere. Just when the pieces were fitting together, Nico Harrison yanked the floor from under everybody. Dirk said the fans feel robbed, and he wasn't exaggerating for even a second. Dallas didn't get the chance to see Luka finish his story in that jersey. They didn't get to see if he could push through and become a champion right there in their city, and that opportunity was taken away by their own general manager. But Dirk wasn't only upset about losing Luka, he was frustrated with what came back in return. Because Anthony Davis isn't just injury-prone, he's a walking warning sign with a contract that's going to drain the entire franchise for years. This is a heavy situation for Dallas. Anthony Davis is set to make $54 million next year, $58 million the year after that, and then $63 million by 2027 and 2028. That's superstar money for someone whose body keeps letting him down. Let that sink in. A player who struggles to stay on the court for more than a short stretch is going to be one of the highest paid players in the league, and he's only getting older.
A Mavs legend, I know that your phone has been blowing up. Why did this move have to happen?
Well, I think there's just too many distractions, too much going on to keep going this way. This move should have probably happened this summer, honestly. I didn't want this negative energy and this black cloud over the Cooper Flag era, but here we are.
Davis is moving deeper into his mid-30s now, entering year 15. And even when he was with New Orleans during his younger days, he wasn't the most dependable guy. He didn't consistently elevate those Pelican squads the way top-tier stars are supposed to. And now, a whole decade later, with more injuries behind him and more miles on his body, Dallas is supposed to build a championship core around him. It doesn't line up at all. The wildest part is this. His trade value right now might be the highest it'll ever be again. If Dallas waits another season or two, teams won't touch that deal. They'll be stuck paying an injury-prone big man in his mid-30s over $60 million to sit on the bench or rehab instead of leading a team on the floor. The comparison to Kawhi Leonard fits perfectly. Both guys are insanely talented when everything goes right. Both have moved from team to team trying to find long-term stability. Both get hyped up every season because of their potential. And both end up hurting their teams by being unavailable at the most important moments because they can't stay healthy. Look at the Clippers with Kawhi. For the past several years, instead of lifting them, he ended up weighing them down because he couldn't stay on the floor when the pressure hit. If Dallas keeps Anthony Davis all the way through 2027 and 2028, they're staring at Kawhi 2.0. And Dirk sees it clearly, which is why he finally spoke up with so much urgency. But the Anthony Davis situation is just one part of a way bigger problem. The real issue is that this Mavericks team has no identity at all. Check out their roster. The three veteran stars are Anthony Davis, Kyrie Irving, and Klay Thompson. All in their 30s. All dealing with health issues. Then look at the young group, Cooper Flag, Derek Lively, and Max Christie. All early 20s players with years of development ahead of them. That's two totally different timelines smashing into each other. And in the NBA, that never works. You can't win when half your squad is built to compete right now while the other half is being groomed for the future. You have to choose a direction, and Dallas keeps trying to play both sides at once. Here's the tough truth backed by decades of NBA patterns. Teams built around aging stars rarely win titles. And here's the second truth. Teams trying to live in two different eras at the same time fail even faster. That's exactly what Dallas is doing, and it's falling apart in real time. If you're a Mavericks fan watching Anthony Davis get hurt again and again, watching Kyrie miss the entire season, and watching Klay Thompson struggle to keep pace, the answer hits you right in the face. Move on from the veteran era. It's done. Embrace the Cooper Flag timeline and build around the young core that still has room to grow. The one veteran Dallas should actually keep is Kyrie Irving. He still has real game left, and if he's healthy, he can guide the young players while still hooping at a high level. The one veteran they should let go is Klay Thompson. The one veteran they need to move right now is Anthony Davis, no hesitation. His value is still holding up, but everyone can see it dropping week by week. If Dallas waits another season or two, he might become completely untradeable, and then they're stuck with an aging, banged-up big man on a massive deal. This is the moment to get young players, picks, or anything that helps build for the future. Because keeping Davis means choosing short-term hope over long-term stability. And that never works. Cooper Flag is not going to be Luka 2.0. Let's keep it real, but he doesn't need to be. Flag has the tools to become a multi-time all-star and a true franchise pillar in his own lane. And the truth is simple. Dallas fans don't feel any real bond with Anthony Davis anyway. He was a Pelican, then a Laker, and now he's in Dallas for what feels like a stopover. He's more of a traveling hired gun than a hometown cornerstone. Everyone can see he's not tied to the city, and the fans know he won't be here long enough for them to build any real connection, so why hold on? Moving him now gives Dallas the chance to build something real around Flag and the young core. Something that actually feels like it belongs to Dallas. Dirk's message on Tuesday wasn't just about roster moves, it was about respect. Respect for the fans who have been loyal to this franchise through every era. Respect for the city that supported him for 2 full decades. Respect for the identity the Mavericks spent years building. When Dirk said the front office should have fired Nico Harrison in the summer, he was really saying Harrison never should have made that massive trade in the first place. The black cloud Dirk mentioned wasn't some dramatic metaphor. It was his way of saying that one decision damaged everything the Mavericks were building. It stole what the future could have been and replaced it with an expensive veteran who can't stay healthy. And fans aren't just going to shrug that off because someone online says they should. Dirk reminded everyone that Dallas fans are loyal and passionate. They supported him over 21 years through the championship mountains and the rebuilding valleys. They deserve better than seeing their franchise centerpiece traded away without a good reason. They deserve the chance to see Luka finish what he started in Dallas. They deserved a leadership group that understood the value of what they had instead of chasing something risky and shiny that turned out to be nothing but fool's gold. Instead, they got a general manager who panicked after one injury and made a move that instantly became one of the worst trades people have ever seen in modern NBA history. And now the Mavericks are struggling, not only in the standings, but in identity, direction, and purpose. Dirk said the team needs all the support it can get right now, and he's absolutely right. But before the fan base can fully rally behind this squad again, there has to be a real plan and real accountability. Firing Nico Harrison is a step, but it's not enough. The next GM has to look at this roster with clear eyes and make the tough calls. Trade Anthony Davis while there's still something to be gained. Move on from the older veterans who aren't shifting the momentum. Go all in on the Cooper Flag era, with Kyrie Irving serving as the bridge between the young guys and the next wave of success. The path forward is actually straightforward, even if it stings. You can't have 1 foot in the veteran win-now world and 1 foot in the youth development world. Teams that try that always get stuck in the middle with no direction. Dallas has to choose, and after everything that's happened, the smart choice is crystal clear. Build around the younger core. Let Cooper Flag grow into the star he can become. Surround him with players who fit his timeline and let Kyrie be the experienced leader who helps guide the transition. Everyone else who doesn't fit that vision needs to be moved on. No hard feelings, just business. It's tough, it's sharp, but this is the NBA and tough choices decide the future. This is the only path forward because Dirk Nowitzki never wanted to be the one calling out his own franchise, and you could hear it every time he spoke. That mix of sadness, frustration, and real disappointment. But someone had to step up. Someone had to finally call out the front office for one of the most confusing and impossible to defend decisions we've seen in modern NBA history. Trading Luka Doncic less than a year after reaching the finals, right when the team was hitting its groove, for an injury-prone veteran on a massive contract? That's the type of move that gets front offices fired, and now it finally has. Nico Harrison is out. The black cloud Dirk talked about is starting to drift away, but the damage from that one trade is going to take years to fix. Mavericks fans deserve to watch Luka grow into a champion in Dallas. They deserve to see that finals squad run it back stronger and cleaner. Instead, they watched Anthony Davis give them only 12 full games in half a season. They watched Kyrie sitting out. They watched Klay Thompson struggle to find his old rhythm. And they watched a front office toss their future away for a gamble everyone saw coming except the people who made the decision. And now they've got Dirk Nowitzki, the greatest Maverick ever, going on national television and saying out loud what everyone has been thinking for months. This whole situation has been a straight-up clown act from day one. Now the question is simple. Can Dallas learn from this mess and actually build something real? Can they let go of the veteran experiment and fully commit to the young era? Can they move Anthony Davis before his value drops even more? Can they rebuild a culture that respects the fans instead of making panic plays that knock the whole franchise backward? Nobody knows yet. But one thing is crystal clear. Dirk Nowitzki made it impossible for anyone to pretend nothing happened. He told the truth even when it stung, and that's exactly what real legends do. They speak up when nobody else will. Make sure to like, comment, share, and subscribe for more.